The story went like this. I was hired to make a film about this outlaw bike gang. They planned to follow the, quote, outlaw trail that Butch Cassidy and the Wild Bunch used in the late 1800s to evade the law. The crew is Diana Davis, Brett Davis, Jon Bailey, and a man they called Doom. I was completely convinced of their daring exploits. I was entranced. I wanted to understand them, to join them. My instinct was to interview these characters and let them tell their own story.
Where am I supposed to look?
Yeah, you can just look next to the camera. Diana? It turned out they were bad at interviews. John, I have a question for you. What will it be like to follow in Butch Cassidy's footsteps?
In my mind, wish I had that Buster. That would have been nice on those baby head sections.
I wasn't asking about bikes. What was with the bikes?
You know, my friends are my sponsors. Yeah, I'm a terrible interviewer. You know, I had a bunch of notes, but I don't know where they went. I dropped them.
All of them went something like that.
You want me to say anything more about Hyperlite?
Interviews were out.
God, no. God, no.
I was going to have to narrate. The outlaw trail they planned to follow went from Circleville, Utah, the childhood home of Butch Cassidy, to Telluride, Colorado, where Butch robbed his first bank. A 500-mile route that went over and through canyon country. Robbers Roost, Canyonlands, Spanish Bottom were some of the highlights. It made a lot more sense for a horse than a bike. There would be miles of hike-a-bike, and there'd be river crossings. Before all that, I planned to follow them over the Henry Mountains. I met up with the gang just west of this mysterious and treacherous place. On day one, we climbed up to Bull Pass. It was 7,000 feet up in the mid-90s. Calling Bull Pass a pass felt generous.
JB, let's go. There's no time for laying on the job.
All good. This is a good spot.
We are at the highest point in this route so far. The highest pass in the Henry Mountains. Bull Pass. A day and a half of climbing. We're here. Now we're descending down. We got some loot to go get that we hid from the Castlegate robbery, payroll robbery in April of 1897. We got that stuff still stashed down in the Roost. So that's where we're heading next.
This is Robbers Roost country, the Valhalla for villains. In the 1880s, Robbers Roost was still a lawless blank spot on the map. It was known only to a handful of adventurous Navajo and Ute, a few brave ranchers, and outlaws. Specifically, Cassidy and the Wild Bunch. Butch grew up in southern Utah, not too far away, and over time he learned the canyons, where to find water, where to hide, where to cross the rivers, how to navigate the massive sandstone cliffs. The Roost was notoriously dangerous for chasing posses. The possibility of an ambush was ever present. Cassidy was well liked among the working class people. In some sense, and as far as we know, he only robbed from wealthy corporations. It was Robbers Roost that Cassidy fled to after the San Miguel Bank robbery in 1889. 8 years later, he robbed the Pleasant Valley Coal Company payroll in Castlegate, Utah. They fled again to their hideout in Robbers Roost. Little remains of the hideout. After loading up on water at Robbers Roost Spring, the gang set out for Canyonlands and the river crossing at Spanish Bottom. On a horse or a bike, Colorado was still a distant thought. Bikes aren't allowed in the trails in Canyonlands, so we ditched the bikes at the border with a trusted accomplice. He would meet us in 2 days on the other side of Canyonlands.
And I see that rattler. So, yeah.
Was he in the bushes?
He is now. No, he was right here.
Oh. Wow, he didn't even rattle when I was hot.
Cowboys used to across here.
Oh, wow.
Since we had no idea how to catch horses or paddle them across the river, we decided pack rafts were admittedly less outlaw, but our next best option.
Yeah, basically.
Perfect.
We had to balance making miles with staying out of the heat and being smart about water.
Yeah, we're kind of looking at that ridge in front of us. It kind of goes, it's really steep. You go straight up it and then you kind of traverse out that way to the left.
Probably up to that little saddle.
It looks really hot up there.
Brett would often break down into mustache talk and incoherent rants about water intake when there were big group decisions to be made.
Man, my right side looks pretty good. My left side is a mess. There's Devil's Lane, which looks like a... yeah, I guess it's now.
Doom learned to just take a nap during these times.
So I think the decision's been made. We consume more water than we need to consume.
Nice, Brett.
Look at that view, huh? All right, now band photo indifferent. Yes. Thank you.
The gang reached the edge of Canyonlands. We switched back to bikes. Spirits were high. No more sand or canyons or river crossings or water shortages. Only 190 rolling miles stood between us and Telluride. We'd ride in on the route that Butch Cassidy used to escape Telluride after the San Miguel bank robbery. We had a purpose and we had fast bikes.
Look at the sun, go behind the hill, and look at the country through a dollar bill. I can't see the bottom of the hole that we're trying to fill. I think we're in love with your abuse. You got one hand on the driver's wheel, the other hand loose. You can call it whatever you want, say we call it a truth. I woke up from a bad dream, and I was wanting to get a living state, a murder it seemed. I was dragging the head of a buffalo through the city streets. White sand, black horses, white sand, black horses, a go green, deep water. I call it anything but green, green. Oh, green, green. Oh.
135 years ago, Butch Cassidy robbed the San Miguel Bank in Telluride for the equivalent of $720,000. He didn't fire a shot. What would it have been like for Butch to see it again, in its beauty, its inequitable wealth, and its charm? I think he would have wanted to rob the place, and knowing this crew, we might have helped him.
Like you can walk around.
I'm not allowed to let you guys pass this point.
Dude, it's like a 2-hour ride backwards.
Every night. So then we'd get in bed and I'd be like, what is that smell?
Because it's supposed to keep it moisturized. I don't know.
As far as robbing banks, I think I could get into it, you know,